Alrighty folks, what's popping in? This is BibbyNation.com. Welcome back to another video, guys. Welcome. And today we are going to be doing the Western Conference here. We just got done doing the Eastern Conference, so if you guys haven't checked that out, make sure you guys do so. And today we're going to give you guys our Western Conference series preview. And just like the Eastern Conference video, we'll be looking at the teams of what they have done this season. We'll be also taking a look at our MVP, our X Factor, what the other team is ranked offensively and defensively, and we're going to be talking about some other stuff as well as my 3 keys to victory. So like I said, if you guys haven't already, hit the like and that subscribe button. Make sure to join the Discord and the Twitch. Both links are in the description. And make sure you guys, if you guys haven't checked out my plugs, number one, if you guys haven't checked out my NBA GOAT survey between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, as well, go check out our ESPN Fantasy Bracket Challenge. Like I said, this video will be coming out on Saturday, so you guys have very limited time to join. But if you guys haven't joined yet, make sure you guys please do so. The link is in the description. Make sure you guys create 2 free brackets and free entry. Without further ado, guys, appreciate your support, and let's go and hop right into it. Alrighty folks, and like I said before, in the Eastern Conference video, we're basically going to be running down the same tier list. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys go check out the Eastern Conference video, because I literally just explained that. Anyway, here, starting off with the Oklahoma City Thunder here. They're probably the best team in basketball, been the best team in basketball over the course of the last 2 seasons here. I mean, like I said, OKC, they've been incredible. They have a great team. I mean, they won a championship last year. So I think everything is relying on OKC, or basically, people would say the run through OKC this year. Anyway, the first round series is going to be the Phoenix Suns here. Like I said, did not really expect this to happen, but hey, it is what it is. We're here for a reason now. Superstar Shea. I mean, the Thunder is going to be pretty much just straightforward here, because like I said, we kind of all expect the the Thunder not just to win this series, but to just kind of beat up the Suns here a little bit here. Like I said, we'll see who we pick in our pick show, but it's gonna be a decent chance that we all pick the Oklahoma City Thunder in this one. But yeah, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Like I said, there's nothing to say about him. There really isn't, because we already know what we're gonna expect from him. So there's really nothing to put down there. X Factor for me, I think it's gonna be Jalen Williams. Now the Thunder and their team have nothing but X Factors. Like they do, they have nothing but X Factors on their team. But if I had to choose one, I think it's gonna be Jalen Williams. And the only reason I'm gonna say that is because I feel like he's been the most primary weapon outside of him and Chet Holmgren. I think he's been, I think he's been one of those main weapons besides the 2 stars. And I don't consider Chet a star, because Chet was an all-star this year. So yeah, I like Jalen Williams' ability to shoot the 3 ball. I do, and I think he's been very consistent. And the Suns' defense is not that bad. Like the Suns do, it's not the best, but at the same time, they do have a strong defense. So the ranked is how the 10s are. The Suns are a top 10 ranked defensive team in the league. So I do think that it's going to be critical that Jalen Williams, every single time he gets that opportunity, to light up from deep, whatever, I think he'll take advantage of it. So that'll be huge. Like I said, Phoenix, they don't have the best offense in the world. They're kind of right in the middle of the back offensively, 60. Oh shit. Like I said, they do have like a 16th ranked offense, so they're right in the middle of the pack there. But defensively, and this guy should probably too, the Suns are a 10th ranked defense, so they do have an active defense. Consider the fact that they're only a playing team. Looks like they won't have to rely more on their defense than their offense. So gotta be pretty impressed how Phoenix are a 10th ranked defensive team. But their offense, I thought their offense was gonna be worse and better than their defense anyway here. Thunder, keys to win. I think I said I'm not really expecting the Thunder to lose this series, but however, we'll go ahead and run away. One, maintain the defensive pressure. Just keep the pressure on Devin Booker and Jalen Green. I think Jalen Green's also been good, so if you want to throw a couple looks at him, I think that'll be nice too. Exploit the depth gap. Like I said, the Thunder, they have nothing but X Factors on their team. They should be able to use all their players. Alex Caruso, Isaiah Hartenstein, like they should be able to use those guys all part of the offense. And capitalize secondary playmaking, no matter if it's coming from Chet Holmgren or no matter if it was coming from Chet Holmgren or Jalen Williams or the other Jalen Williams or Big J-Dub. I mean, I just think that, I just think the Thunder have a lot of like X factors on their team. So like I said, playing simple here for the Suns should really be a problem, but who knows, we'll see. Moving on, we got the Phoenix Suns, the 8th seed. They're going to be playing against OKC in the first round. I mean, for the Suns, it's kind of unfortunate that they had to play. Well, not really. It's not really unfortunate. I mean, they kind of deserve it because they did lose that 7th seed game at home against Portland. That's what it kind of put them back in this spot. But yeah, I think they kind of deserve it. Personally, I think they kind of deserved to lose that last one. But Superstar, I mean, you could go either way, Devin Booker or Jalen Green. I'm gonna go with Devin Booker because he's been in this situation before. He's been in the finals before and lost, so I think he'll have the most experience on this roster. So I am gonna go with Devin Booker, but this man's got to be elite. He's gonna have to be elite, and he's going to have to be efficient playing against his OKC defense. And we'll just go ahead and get through a minute here, but like I said, the Suns offense, it just kind of feels like it has to be complete. If it's not complete, then I don't think they're going to be able to score enough points to win. And he's going to have to upgrade his playmaking, and not because I don't think he's a bad playmaker. It's just what OKC's defense provides. Like he provides OKC. Like I said down there, OKC is the best ranked defensive team in basketball. They're the best defensive team in basketball. So how much is that going to pressure on the Suns? X factor, Jalen Green. Like I said, if it's not him, I mean you could definitely go Dylan Brooks. I think that Dylan Brooks has been a big impact both offensively and defensively. But I'm gonna go with Jalen Green. I mean, it just kind of feels like once he stays hot, we've seen it in their win over against the Warriors in the play-in. If this man gets hot, he stays hot, and there's no stopping him there. Ooh, shit. Like I said, sorry about that. Sorry about my yawning. I said we're recording this on 1:20 at night here. Anyway, here, like I said, if he gets hot, he should stay hot. It's Jalen Green here. And I do think he's going to have to help out Devin Booker with the facilitating and scoring on offense. Because I do think Jalen Green's that clear-cut number 2 option in Phoenix. So it kind of feels like, you know, if Devin Booker is struggling, then he should be able to provide some offense. Like I said, OKC doesn't really have a weakness as a team. They're 7th ranked offense, and like I said, they're the best ranked defensive team in basketball. So that's why it says kind of unfortunate with the Suns, because they don't, this Thunder team doesn't really have a weakness. That's just the thing about the Thunder. But if we have to do the keys to win, number one, I would keep the turnovers and mistakes limited, because OKC like to get out to the races on you, and OKC is another one of those teams that are really good at punishing you for your own choices. So I think they have to protect the ball. They have to be high efficiency on the offensive side, especially with threes. I think they're good. Like you're gonna need to knock down threes against this Thunder team. And then just be aggressive on the boards. You know, you might not be able to win them. Yes, you might be in transition doing that, but you know, if the game's close and you feel like you can snatch one, yeah, I would be extra aggressive. I will play for the win. I'll play for the boards. Overall, I think they need to be a little bit more physicality on boards, but yeah, that's what we got for the Thunder, and let's see how they match up with OKC. Moving up, we got my Los Angeles Lakers. Man, I am so pumped up, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm pumped up about it. Maybe we'll see it in the first round here. We will play Houston. I'm not sure. We will see. But anyway, here my Los Angeles Lakers playing against the Rockets in the first round, and we did win that one, and we did win the regular season series 2-1, as you guys will see on your top left. The superstar has to be LeBron, right? There's no Luka, there's no Austin Reeves. He's going to be the front runner of the offense. He's going to get majority of the looks, and it's kind of tough, and it's also kind of fortunate for the same time, because you know we're looking at a 41-year-old say, hey, go out here and just manhandle the offense. But at the same time, like, the LeBron has been absolutely fantastic over these course of the last couple weeks. LeBron, I think he's averaged 28 a game since Austin Reeves and Luka has been out. So I just think LeBron James has been absolutely incredible. I think he can do things on both sides of the ball. His defense is not so great, but I do think he will provide that thing, his spark offensively. And I do think how the Lakers normally typically play is, I think the Lakers play based off LeBron's energy. And I think if his energy is up, then I think the Lakers' energy will be up. So I think LeBron James, he's gonna have to be the superstar. He's gonna have to be able to do enough to see if they can get the job done here. My X factor is going to be DA. DA, as a Lakers fan, I will say this, he's kind of been up and down this year, but he definitely needs to step up, and he needs to hold his pain against Houston's size of it. Like I say, Houston has a very tough, this is going to be a tough matchup for the Lakers offense, because Houston's defense is, it's pretty good. It's been pretty good for the most part of this year, so I do think it's going to be a pretty rough matchup here for the Lakers, especially with no Luka, no AR. Like, so LeBron's gonna have to generate the offense here. But I like DeAndre Ayton. I think he's gonna be a big X factor for the Lakers. I think he's gonna be able to. He's gonna have to be big, especially against Houston's size advantage. And I just think he's gonna have to score at will. He's gonna be able to help the most with LeBron. So that's why I kind of went with him as my X factor in this series. Like I said, Houston is a 8th ranked offensive team. They're pretty good offensively. You know, ever since they got Kevin Durant back, they've been awesome. Sengun, they've always been a pretty good damn offensive team, and they're also a 6th ranked defensive team. So if you look at that, the Rockets are actually a pretty tough matchup for the Lakers, because not only do you don't have Austin or Luka, you're also playing against a team that's inside the top 10 in both categories. So that could be pretty tough here for the Lakers. Like I said, their offense is gonna be able to have to generate points if they want to think about taking on the Rockets here. So the Lakers, they need for my keys to me, they need scoring contributions from the other guys, and I'm talking about specifically Rui, Luke Kennard, and Marcus Smart, because LeBron is going to have to need help. LeBron can't do this all by himself. And I'll talk about this more in the pick show, but I'm just kind of back and forth between my decision between the Lakers and the Rockets still, because I don't know who's going to be playing and what game during the series. So, and that's basically my deciding factor. And we'll talk about, like I said, we'll talk about that more tomorrow in the pick show. But yeah, that's just kind of like where I'm at with that boat. You have to win the turnover battle and rebounding battle. I think that's going to be huge. It is going to be tougher because, like I said, I do think Houston has a really good defense, and I think Houston also is one of the better rebounding teams, offensive rebounding teams in the NBA. So I think that could be a little bit tough. And then just keep yourself in the series long enough for Luka. I think Luka, if he comes back, just have a mindset of going like 2-2, headed back to LA for Game 5, or have a mindset or go 1-1 during the home court. Just think about going 1-1. If they could do that, I think Luka can recover fast enough to the point that I think he can carry the Lakers for the rest of the way here. So we'll see how my boys do. All right, and their opponent will be the Houston Rockets, as they are playing here in the first round. Like I said, I think Houston is a hell of a team. I do think Houston does have something to provide here. Like I said, I think Houston, I mean, there's been a couple stretches this year that Houston's been incredibly inconsistent, but at the same time, they have gotten better throughout when the season's ended here. Superstar Kevin Durant, I think that one's pretty obvious here. Now, if you guys haven't heard, I think he actually dealt with the injury. I think he suffered an injury in practice, and I think he said he was questionable, but I think he plays. I don't think he will miss a game here, honestly. I think Game 1 is just too boring. Game 1 is kind of like a tone setter. So I just think that Kevin Durant, he should be the MVP when the Rockets play the Lakers here. X Factor, man, X Factor was actually pretty tough to decide, because Houston actually does have a lot of X Factors that you can just point and say, hey, you're the X Factor, you're the X Factor. I'm going to go with Amen Thompson. Yeah, I'm going to go with him because I like his potential more than I do everybody else's. He needs to follow Durant and Sengun, because like I said, them two are going to be the primary ball handlers. So if you're Amen Thompson, you're not a ball handler, right? You're not a scorer. That's Kevin Durant and Sengun's job. Your job is to come in as a secondary scorer, because you know Sengun and Kevin Durant are going to be leading scorers. You need to come as a secondary scorer and also put some pressure in the paint for the Lakers defense to handle. Like I said, the Lakers defense, as you guys can see down there in the screen, they're not that ranked that good defensively. The Lakers are actually in the bottom half in the league on defense. The Lakers are a 18th ranked defense, and yes, and that is pretty bad compared to the rest of the NBA playoff teams. So Houston could definitely, if the Lakers defense is sharp, they could employ mismatches, and they could definitely get some things here in the paint here. The Lakers are a 9th ranked offensive team though, but that, like I said, that was with Luka. We don't know how the team is going to look without Luka, so we will see on that. Rockets, I think they needed. I also do think Rockets need some. Oh wait, hold up. All right, there we go. I accidentally had the when I had the keys, I accidentally kept the Lakers in here, so I went to go ahead and change it to the Rockets here. So for, like I said, my keys for the Rockets here. Number 1, they have to fully take advantage with no Luka or no Austin Reeves. Like I say, Houston, if you guys haven't checked, if you guys haven't looked, Houston is heavily favored to win the series. And as a Lakers fan, I will say this, it's completely understandable, because we don't have Luka, we don't have LeBron. Sure, we do have home court advantage, but that doesn't really matter. That doesn't really matter if you don't have these two on the court. So I think Houston, especially how long I think Luke is out for. I think Luke is gonna be out for like what maybe game 5 that he returns. So it just kind of feels like this is Houston's chance to really get out to a big lead and get against the Lakers here. Um, so yeah, I do think Houston might take advantage of that. They're dominant. I do think one of those keys is they're going to be dominant on the offensive side of the ball, specifically the offensive rebounding. I think Houston's been one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the NBA this season, so I do think for the Lakers it's going to be tougher than to box out Houston. So I like them for that. And then I'm going to play with physicality. You know, the Lakers have normally struggled against like the teams of more physicality, the teams, you know, that can get out and run a little bit. I do think Houston could be one of those teams, you know, one of those physical, fast running teams. I think that could prevent the Lakers a little bit of problems here. So that would probably be my third key. But like I say, Houston's favorite to win this series. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I'm wrong. We'll see. We'll see what we got in the pick show here. But yeah, that's the keys for the Rockets. Now we got the Denver Nuggets here as our 3 for the 16. Right now, Denver is playing Minnesota here in the first round. Like I said, the rivalry is back between these two. Like I said, I know not a lot of people call this a rivalry, but hey, let's be fun. I call this a rivalry here. But anyway, Denver actually went 3-1 against Minnesota this year, and that one actually came in game 4. As Denver won that, they would have swept Minnesota, but yeah, Denver, they went 3 for 4 against Minnesota this year. Like I said, superstar is Nikola Jokic. You know what you're gonna get out of it. Everybody knows what you're gonna get out of Jokic. Everybody knows you might get a 40-point double-double, 30, 20, and 10 double-double. You just know what you're gonna get from Jokic. So don't think that one matters there. The X factor, however, like I said, Denver has a lot. Denver to me is kind of like OKC. Like they're like almost their entire roster is X factors. Like I just think Denver is really that damn good. And actually, when these two teams faced off 2 years ago, I was shocked that Minnesota lost to Denver in game 7. But I would probably be even more shocked if the Denver Nuggets lost this series to the Wolves. I just feel like this Nuggets team it's just a lot better. I would just think so. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Aaron Gordon as my X factor though, because you know Jokic and Murray, they're gonna be the front runners in the offense, and I think Aaron Gordon needs to bring that versatility, and I also do think he needs to bring that physical presence on the defensive side of the ball that we know that he's known and love, and he's been doing it over the last couple of weeks. So glad that he's still doing that. Minnesota, like I said, they're a 12th ranked offense. And their offense has been pretty good this year, but that's even impressive. Even you know having some games without it here. Defensively wise, Minnesota is probably a pretty good ranked defensive team. Like I said, they're 8th ranked defense, so that could be a little bit special there. Nuggets, keys to victory number 1, they have to contain Anthony Edwards. You can't let Anthony Edwards come out here and just beat your ass. And listen, this man is capable of, right? He's capable of beating your ass. He did that to the Lakers last year. So you want to keep him contained. Number 2, you want to use Jokic for scoring and facilitating. You don't really want to use him as like an actual center. You want to use him like bringing the ball up the floor, you know, generate with the people, and then, you know, look for a score if you have it there. But yeah, I'll say facilitating. And then number 3, rely on your high-powered offense to win games. Like I said, Denver has one of the best offenses, if not the best offenses in the NBA. So it kind of feels like even if Denver does get in a little bit of trouble, they should use a little bit more of their offensive identity to really rely on them for them to win basketball games. And they'll be taking on against the Minnesota Timberwolves here. Like I said, they're going to be playing against the Denver Nuggets in the first round. Actually, out of all the series, I think this one's going to be the best series, to be completely honest, because it's just a lot of tough matchups here. What we got here in the first round. Alexei Zubac, Anthony Edwards. I think that was pretty simple here. Now, there is a question how Anthony Edwards is going to be healthy for this game, but we will find that soon. He just takes this game to another level. I mean, every single time in the playoffs, he just has this beat your ass type attitude, you know, and I really love that from Anthony Edwards here. My X factor actually for this series is going to be Rudy Gobert, because when I watched Rudy Gobert over these last couple seasons, specifically this year and last season, I think he's been impressive. And he's going to be the #1 guy to guard Jokic. Like, he's going to be the #1 guy to point fingers on the, hey, go guard Jokic. I know that Jokic is not easy, right? Jokic is one of the best, if not the best player in the world right now. So it just gets tough guarding the Joker. But I think he'll be one to throw at it. And then when he gets scoring opportunities, anytime he needs it, he knocks down the mid-range jumper, but he's been pretty decent. I think he needs to knock those down too. Like I said, Denver, they're the #1 ranked offensive team in the NBA. And you guys are going to look at that defensive rank and say, holy shit, Denver Nuggets are a 21st ranked defense. And the only reason that they are is because, like I said, Denver, they have never been healthy this season. They have not. When they've been healthy, they've been a top 10 ranked defense. But since, you know, they haven't really been healthy, they have to dive down a little bit on defense, 21st. But like I said, this should be one of the better series that we see in the first round here. So we'll see what happens here. I think the Wolves' keys, #1, I think the offense needs to be productive and consistent. You're playing against the best offense in the league in the Denver Nuggets, and I do think the Nuggets are better than last time that the Wolves played in the playoffs. So kind of feels like if your offense is not on that same boat, I don't know if you're gonna be able to keep up against the best offense in the league. So we'll see. #2, I think they need to force turnovers to take control of the pace. I thought they did that a little bit last year, or no, not last year, 2 years ago. I think they did a really good job of doing that. So I just think they need to get a little bit greedy on defense, force a couple turnovers. And #3, I think they need to score. I think people need to score besides Edwards. You know, I think Anthony Edwards has been doing majority of the work, but at the same time, it kind of feels like, man, if we can get another score besides Edwards, maybe we might be able to do something here. So we'll see what happens here. Like I said, I'm very entertained to see what happens in this series. But yeah, that's what we got for Nuggets versus Wolves. All right, ladies and gents, and then kicking things off here. Well, not kicking things off here, but ending off here with our last series here in the first round. We have San Antonio playing against the Portland Trailblazers. Whoever figured these two teams would be playing in the first round here. But anyway, here, I think like I said, I think the West is kind of like more. I think we're gonna see more exciting games, but it's just kind of like more straightforward to explain here. Like I said, the first round, the superstar is Wemby. Like I said, and this is his first experience in the playoffs. So could that be a new thing for Wemby? But I don't think so. I think Wemby's been too dominant. He's too dominant of a player. I do think Wemby should be able to win. My guy should be able to win. Well, he should be not win, but he should be in that, at least that MVP conversation. So we'll see what happens there. My X factor is gonna be Stephon Castle. I can easily put him, De'Aaron Fox, but I'm kind of putting him in De'Aaron Fox in the same system here. Because if them two both are just critical. I mean, that besides Wemby, it kind of feels like these two guys are the main two guys that are scoring besides Wemby. I like De'Aaron Fox. I like how fast he is. Like how he can explode to the rim. Yes, I do like De'Aaron Fox, and I do also like Zach LaVine. I think he brings that. Well, no, not Zach LaVine, because he plays for the Kings. I meant Harrison Barnes. I think he brings a pretty big impact. So, they will go with that. Portland, I mean, like I said, they're kind of right in the middle of the pack. They haven't really been a bad team or really that necessarily a good team all season long. They're 12th ranked offense, 14th ranked defense, so they're kind of like right in the middle of the pack in both. And then, like I said, the Spurs keys to win. #1, they got to control the rebounding and the paint with Wemby. Like I said, now the Trailblazers do have a pretty decent defense as well, but Wemby should be almost damn near unguardable, especially at home. So feels like he should be able to grab all the boards in there. Use the defenses to create their offenses. Like I said, I think the Spurs defense has been pretty good over the course of the year, and as you go through that, you can tend just create offenses. You want to give Wemby some hard routes. You want to give Stephon Castle. It just kind of feels like the Spurs have a lot of guys that can facilitate an offense to really do that. And I think their defense has been pretty damn good too. And just keep the ball in check. Don't play stupid. Don't act stupid. Play smart. Play conservative, and you should be able to win here. So yeah. So that's what we got here for the Spurs. Alrighty, folks, last but not least, we have the Portland Trailblazers here, and their first round matchup will be the San Antonio Spurs. Like I said, it was kind of expected because, like I said, I bet majority of you guys did not have the Spurs Trailblazers making the playoffs, and they actually made the playoffs. They beat Phoenix. just a couple of matches ago. Yeah, but yeah, first round is gonna be the San Antonio Spurs, and actually, to be completely honest with you, I think this is the matchup that the Spurs wanted to get. So I actually don't blame them taking the 3 seed away. But in this one here, I think the star is going to be Denny. I think Denny's going to have to do a majority of the work here. I think he's going to have to contain Wemby here, and I do think that's going to be a huge problem. But I don't know. We will see. Like I said, the Trailblazers are actually not that bad a defensive team here. We're going to talk about here at San Antonio here in a little bit. Here is the X factor. I think it's going to be Jrue Holiday. I do think Jrue Holiday is going to be the X factor, is because I think he has the most experience on the roster when it comes down to like championships. Because Jrue Holiday's already won 2 championships, and I really wouldn't doubt if he would do it again. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Jrue Holiday because he does have experience. He won multiple championships, so Jrue Holiday's my X factor. And like I said, the Spurs, they're kind of like OKC that doesn't really have a weakness. Kind of like OKC Denver, they don't really have a weakness. I mean, they got. I mean, they're 4th ranked offense, 3rd ranked defense, but overall, like I said, this team is just legit. They can beat you in so many ways. So it's gonna be a tough matchup here for Orlando. And that's my 3 keys, just to get out the write down keys. Number 1, they have to play smart and they have to play physical with Wemby. If you don't play physical with Wemby, I just don't think that they're going to be able to stand a chance to win this game. And it's kind of like feel like every single time like you box out, you know, it kind of feels like you have to do this, and you know it just gets a little tough. So it's just, you just have to box Wemby out. Number 2, you have to crash the glass. Like I said, you're dealing with Wemby, and then anytime you can get second chance points on offense, I do think that'll be pretty critical. So if you can just get those laying up in the end, I think that'll be pretty cool as well. Number 3, neutralizes the Spurs offense. I think, yeah, we'll see. Like I said, the more I look at this, the more my keys. I don't really like the chances that the Trailblazers cover this, but I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see who we pick in our pick show starting tomorrow. So, like I said, if you guys haven't already, hit the like, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate y'all support. Without further ado, guys, I'm gonna hop out of here. Get these guys to go watch on time. Make sure you guys could watch our Eastern Conference 1 if you guys haven't already. And we'll see you guys next time. This is Major.com. Peace out. Stay safe. See you guys next time. Enjoy the playoffs. And peace. See you then.